Now, this person expressed his willingness to abdicate this office. For court to bring this person again back to the throne is a little bit disturbing and intriguing for us. Because if somebody is not interested, why do you bring this person and impose this person on the people of Lango?
Okay, that was a brand that Lango was putting out to this country for the people of Lango.
That this is an opportunity for forging unity and moving forward.
Some Lango people have shared money, even the common people, 1 shilling, 10 shillings, they have been sending through Momo. We have seen the commitment to revive our cultural heritage.
And so we want to say we welcome court's judgment.
Yeah, thank you. So, people, Jota ya do kukwena meno sinti ye kana police here.
There has been a long walk of the Lango people to a destiny that they had set their minds on. We had anticipated by the 2nd of November, we would have the installation of our paramount chief. The judgment that came on 31st has created mixed feelings. What is important for the Lango people is to remember that we are a tribe called by God, and God has given us a place in the affairs of men. I ask everybody, the Lango people, young and old, in this country and many other nations around the world, that one day God will let us smile. For now, our brothers and sisters, let's embrace unity. Let's talk peace. Let's talk love. Unnecessary celebrations and animosity will not give us a new direction. I call upon my 2 senior brothers, Engineer Dr. Michael Odonkune and Ambassador Dixon Ogwangukul. They are all distinguished leaders among us. As a younger generation behind them, we look forward to seeing what they can offer for now and the future. That requires selflessness. It will require sacrifice. Be wise, not in your own eyes, but make sure that you prioritize the good of this land. Whatever has happened has happened. The people of Lango, we thank you wherever you are, and many other people who have supported this process. You have raised money. Some Lango people have shared money, even the common people, 1 shilling, 10 shillings, they have been sending through Momo. We have seen the commitment to revive our cultural heritage. We have seen the commitment to a new chapter of the Lango people. And what it means is that Lango is committed. I call upon you as one of your sons and as a leader in this land. Nobody, none of us, must use any other force except our minds. We have the capacity to resolve our differences, whether legally, whether intellectually. And we have proved that over time, that we have supported nations around the world to solve their own problems. And we are sure that within, we have the answers. And that's our prayer to our elders, to our religious leaders, to many others who are well placed. For now, let the celebration happen later. For now, let's retreat, both camps, let's settle, let's cool down, let's calm down, let's rethink our pathway to a new chapter for the Lango that lives today and those that are coming in the future. Thank you very much. My name is Edwin Odur Luru, and for sure I was at the center of this preparation for the coronation. And yeah, indeed, people were really excited. Lango in general was excited for this forthcoming coronation. I must be very clear that Lango was ready to market a brand in the cultural institution.
Okay, that was a brand that Lango was putting out to this country for the people of Lango. But it's quite unfortunate that the ruling came out that way. Well, we appreciate for the rule of law to exist. It has happened. As the people of Lango and as an individual, I can say that we must follow the rule of law. A judgment has been passed. There's nothing much we can do. I know the court processes has its due processes that they follow. So I would appeal to the people of Lango, let's stay calm, okay? And we wait for other processes to take place. I call upon the people of Lango to stay in peace. We don't want any kind of people disorganizing others. That one, we are not part of it. That was not the brand we wanted to sell. We want a brand with peace. We want a brand that would bring unity in Lango. We want a brand that would bring peace with our neighbors and the rest of the tribes that is surrounding Lango. So we cannot say much about what the court has done, but we know every Lango now is depressed, okay? People are tormented. The planning committee, people have spent a lot of money in preparations, and that is what is really disturbing most of the people now, because preparations were all around in all the places that we had planned to execute this coronation. But we are respecting court and let its process take the due course. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah.
It's Patrick Okwir. I am one of the lawyers representing the defendants in this case, that is Dr. Odong Okune and others who have been sued, who had been sued in this case. Yesterday in the evening we got a judgment, the long-awaited and anticipated judgment in this matter. To our dismay, it did not go well with us. It was against us insofar as it nullified the election of Engineer Moses Michael Odong Okune, the Paramount Chief elect. Court said that he was invalidly elected. But also interestingly, we had counterclaimed against the plaintiffs and also added some counter defendants in this matter. Court also stated that that person, the parallel person who was equally elected, was elected not in accordance with the law. So this means that court nullified the election of both parties. But what is disturbing to our minds and the people of Lango at large is the fact that court appears to have left us in a state of quagmire. We seem to be lost in the bush or in darkness. Because why? Why do I say this? Court nullified the elections of both parties and restored a person who is no longer interested in the throne of the Paramount Chief of Lango. That is the previous holder of that position. Now, this person expressed his willingness to abdicate this office. That was the basis for the holding of the two elections. Okay? So this clearly means that this person is no longer interested in becoming the Paramount Chief because of old age and illness. Now, for court to bring this person again back to the throne is a little bit disturbing and intriguing for us. Because if somebody is not interested, why do you bring this person and impose this person on the people of Lango as the Paramount Chief? So I find an error in that regard. But also most interestingly, now court has not told this person the period within which he should serve as the Paramount Chief. Okay? It would have been better if court had said, since the two elections have been nullified, this so-and-so has been brought back to this throne to serve for this period of time. And in the meantime, court ought to have scheduled a time frame within which an election or a proper election should have been held. I believe that way it would have resolved the issue. So the issue is whether this judgment has resolved the issue of the Lango Paramount Chief or not. In my opinion, I don't think it has solved this matter, because it has left us in a state where we don't know where we're going, we don't know where we're headed, we don't know what we are supposed to do. If this person who has now been imposed on us decides to leave next week, what happens? What happens? You see, that's the problem.
But
God forbid.
They argue that the Constitution of 2017, which the court majorly relied on, states that the paramount chief stays in power until he passes on.
But you see, we found a lot of trouble in that constitution. First of all, there's a lacuna in that constitution, because you cannot state that the paramount chief dies in office. Like I clearly always state, the Lango institution of the institution of Lango culture or tradition or custom is premised on democratic principles, where there's supposed to be checks and balances. If that kind of system does not require that a person should die in office, because then how will you check this person's performance? So I found a lot of trouble in that constitution. First of all, now, if it states so, and this person is not interested in staying on the throne, what happens? You see? So that it leaves us with a lot to be desired. I think there was a big error in that regard, which court ought to have made a resolution on. God forbid, if His Highness William Odu Ebi dies tomorrow, where will this take us as the people of Lango? I think it is actually a recipe for much more disaster than the confusion that we were engulfed in before.
So also looking at this decision, how does it leave the organizing committee? Because I understand the number of dignitaries who are invited, some of them have already landed in the country and some were already in Lira.
Yeah, the judge.
The tents were being set and mayors gathered and so
yeah,
how much damage has this left?
This damage has caused us in an immense loss as the people of Lango. It has caused us a lot of shame as the people of Lango. It has caused us a lot of disappointment as the people of Lango. Why do I say this? We've printed out invitation cards, about 20,000. We sent them out. People have confirmed their attendance. As I speak right now, we have delegations from Egypt, we have delegations from the USA, we have delegations from Kenya, and these are kings. We have delegations from Nigeria and Ghana. We have other kings who are around and important dignitaries that we have invited. But also much more interestingly, the common man within Lango was so interested in this. As I speak right now, there are people who are not even aware that there is a judgment stopping this coronation, and they are still pouring and flocking into the city. We have received delegation from Otuke, they have all come. People have come from Oyam, people have come from Kole, people have come from Maleptong, people have come from Amolata. Our neighbors have come from Gulu, our neighbors have come from Teso, and we are now in this kind of state. We have engaged service providers. You have seen at the Mayor's Garden their tents being erected. We have spent money that has been collected by the people themselves. We have bought cows to be slaughtered. We have bought rice. We have bought chairs. We have hired tents. We have hired everything. And you can imagine this kind. We have booked hotels for our dignitaries and guests. So you can imagine what is happening now.
But also, how are you dealing with the crowd? Because early in the morning I saw massive numbers came over. They were eager, they were saying they can't bow down to court and so on because they need their leader. So as leaders, how are you dealing with this situation?
Well, as a lawyer, my duty is to advise the client to abide by the decisions of court. A decision of court, however illegal it is, however much you don't agree with it, until it is set aside, until it is varied, that is the position. So everybody must adhere to it because nobody is surely above the law. So as a lawyer, my duty is to advise the clients to abide by the position of the law until it has been varied.
For now, what are you doing as lawyers to see that?
For, right now, as lawyers, we're looking at possible avenues of what we can be able to do. We're looking at the remedies that are provided for in the law. Of course, one of the remedies is pursuing an appeal, which I believe we are pursuing. We have our colleagues who are in Kampala trying to pursue an appeal. Also back home here, we are also trying to make applications to stay the execution of that order and judgment. And I believe that if all is well, we will be able to secure that order and we continue with the program as planned in the interest of the people of Lango. I want to also believe that this judgment has actually united the people of Lango. The more it has united, people are in solidarity with one another, people are sad and so dissatisfied with this judgment.
So there are some people who are happy, some people celebrate it.
I think the people who are happy in this kind of thing are the people who do not want to see a united Lango. And if they are there, actually, it must be about only 1% or 0.5%. Because every majority of the people had embraced this thing. People had embraced, people have collected money. This most of the money that we have used actually for this event has been money collected from the people, from the common man. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Omiat. I am an advocate practicing here in northern Uganda, in Lira. I practice with a law firm called Garu and Company Advocates. And I'm also the council member representing northern Uganda at Uganda Law Societies Council. I must say we have had a court case that involved clan heads who are unhappy about election. And that took place this year around first day of March 2024. That election was meant to replace the reigning paramount chief of Lango. We call him the Wonyashi of Lango. Wondeo Yosham Odur Ebi. This resulted from his letter which he had written to the minister communicating his intention to abdicate. And so parties who are interested in this election and the leaders in this region picked up what I could call a dispute or conflict about how that transition should be or should take place. When should the election take place? Who are the people who qualify to go for election? And so in the process, the reigning paramount chief himself wrote a letter to the minister complaining about the electoral commission he had appointed, and his complaint was that they are not following the roadmap, the transition roadmap, and many other issues pertaining transition. And also other leaders, including some clan heads, were unhappy with how the process was being conducted. So attempts were made to resolve this matter through mediation, but it failed. There's an organ an organ appointed by the reigning Wonyashi called Itogo, Council of Elders, who attempted to resolve this matter, but it did not work out. So the Council of Elders recommended or advised the parties who were aggrieved to go to court for redress. Indeed, we were instructed and we filed a suit in court. And basically that suit, the complaint or the cause of action was about abuse of due process of the law as far as election of the new paramount chief is concerned. And so we filed the suit in court. The defendants also filed their defense. And the person who had won that election in the names of Engineer Michael Okune was sued together with others, including Electoral Commission, challenging his election. The concern was that his election was illegally done, and so is null and void due to failure to follow the procedures in the Constitution of Lango Cultural Foundation and also the law governing cultural institution in this country and the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda. Was managed, or the judge that presided over this matter, Justice Philip Odoki. We had this matter for about 1 month marathon, and yesterday he delivered his judgment, and indeed he found that the election, all the elections that were conducted in replacement of the reigning Wonyashi, the procedures and the laws governing elections were not followed, and the Constitution of Uganda and other laws, especially the law governing cultural institutions in this country, were not followed. And so he declared all the elections that were conducted, because there were 2 elections conducted. Yes, so he declared all these elections that they were conducted in violations. Actually, in his judgment, said in gross violation of the law. And so, as the lawyers representing Lao Cultural Foundation, representing His Highness, the Wonyashi, or the paramount chief of Lao, and the clan leaders who are lying or who are paying allegiance to the Rene Wonyashi, we want to say we welcome the judgment of court. We believe that judgment has restored peace and hope of the people of Lango. And so, other than nullifying the election, court also pronounced itself and made an order that the reigning Wonyashi, who was degazetted, should be regazetted, because the reigning Wonyashi or the reigning paramount chief was not properly or was illegally degazetted. And court ordered the engineer Odon Kune, who was gazetted, to be degazetted. And so we want to say we welcome court's judgment, and my clients are law-abiding citizens. Brief them and they welcome the judgment, and they are willing to follow the decision of court. So that is what briefly I can comment about our court.
So others are finding it difficult to understand the current situation, because they are saying the reigning Wonyashi had actually lost interest in continuing, but court is again forcing him back, yet he doesn't have interest. And then that this term he had applied to abdicate tomorrow, and that what will happen, will it be that from tomorrow onwards we shall not be having a new Wonyashi, I mean a Wonyashi completely, shall we have a vacuum in that position? What does that mean?
Okay, indeed the Rede Wonyashi had communicated his intention to abdicate. But when he saw the process was not going well, actually himself, he wrote to the minister, he also wrote to the president that all is not going well. He would want to first maintain his office until all these issues, which bring a lot of conflicts, are dealt with. So I would comfortably say that indeed he is still interested in being in charge, so that the day is not going to be there. There is a smooth transition. Then there's one key thing that came in that judgment. Court found that in the Constitution of Lao Cultural Foundation, there's only one provision which states that the paramount chief of Lao can only leave office upon his death. And that's what the Constitution says. So the option of him abdicating is not provided for in the law. So for him to abdicate or write to the minister, there should be first amendment in the Constitution. Then that process can what? So there must be that provision. That is what court said. And so apparently court has already ordered that the minister should, with immediate effect, regazette. We have extracted the order and we have sent our process server to have the same served on the minister. We believe the same has been served or is being served, and I believe by Monday or next week the Rene Wonyashi will be regazetted, and life will come to normal. So I don't see any big problem with the vacuum. I think there will be no vacuum, because the Wonyashi doesn't lead in isolation. He has a team of leaders, Prime Minister, the Speaker, and the rest of the leaders who should take charge and help him to lead. Yes.
So maybe you can also help us understand. There has been several amendments that court did not expect it.
Yes, the valid amendment is the 2017. That is the valid constitution. There was an approved amendment of 2023. Now that, in my view, needed to still be processed. There are other processes and should be incorporated in the main constitution. And so that constitution can now be referred to as Lango Cultural Foundation Constitution as amended 2023. So I believe that process is yet to be concluded. Yes. Yeah.
So this morning, the other faction had a coronation ceremony where his highness, engineer was kind of installed in that position as the Wanyashi. What do you have to say about that?
The court was very clear. Court pronounced itself. Court put a permanent injunction restraining any party, including the candidates whose election was annulled, that they should not be engaging in any activity leading to installation or coronation or any ritual pertaining handover or power to a new Wanyashi. Which there's now no new Wanyashi because the court has already nullified all these elections. So any activity being carried out is null and void. Remember, even the speaker who purported to have convened a meeting that invited the first defendant, in this case, Engineer Odonku, and who presided or was part of that council. That council is null and void because the speaker, court found that the speaker, his position did not exist. Remember, the speaker, in court said he was elected as an interim speaker. Court declared and said that position does not exist. And court was very clear that he should stop purporting to say is the speaker. So any activity conducted by him or any other activity that was done after this order was made, all those activities has no legal consequences. It's as good as nothing has happened. It's null and void. That's what I can say. As a lawyer, we know very well that once court has pronounced itself, and this knowledge is not only a confine of the lawyers. All citizens of Uganda are expected to be law-abiding citizens, and there's no one who is above the law. So if after court made this decision, after the court's judgment, any activity, and if the defendants, if they are to continue with activities like coronation, installation, or any other activity, the other option actually is to go to court and pray that they should be found to be in contempt of court order. And so if these parties are to continue disobeying the court order, because court was very clear, then they can be taken on what is called contempt of court. And so those are options that we can explore in case we are instructed to do so. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, I am Odongo Dike, the district chairperson Aleptong, and also the overall chairperson for LLC 5 chairperson from Lango sub-region. I want to salute and commend yesterday's judgment by the court. As leaders of Lango, we have experienced a lot of challenges, especially when our people were at a crossroad because we couldn't find anywhere to move. But I'm happy that the judgment has put Lango on the right track. And I want to salute Justice Philip Sodoki for making a very bold decision that has saved the future of Lango and the future of this country. As the local government leaders, we want to reaffirm our position that the current paramount chief, Mzee Yosamudur, is still the paramount chief of Lango, and all of us as local government, we pay allegiance to him. And on that note, we are also telling other parties that, arising from this judgment, as local government leaders, we want to caution those other parties that we don't need any other paramount chief that will come through the back door. And as local government, we are not going to pay allegiance to such, because we as leaders, our task is to protect and defend the Constitution, and is within our mandate to follow the law. And we also want to appeal to the people of Lango, to all the parties, to all the elders, to all the religious institutions, to the community of Lango, that this is an opportunity for forging unity and moving forward. We have been divided for all this long, and nothing we have gained out of it. So it is my humble appeal as the local government leader that we need to unite and move forward as the people of Lango, so that we can forge a way forward, we can think as a team, we can lobby and cause meaningful development and transformation for the people of Lango. And that one can only happen when we are united. It is on this note that we as local government leaders, we are demonstrating by appealing to all our elders, to all the opinion leaders in Lango, to all the right-thinking people, that please let us not allow our people to go into ruin while we sit. Let us come and lead the way. Let us tell the truth to others so that we can prepare a good future for the next generation. I am excited as a leader because this is an opportunity we are supposed to reunite and chart the way forward. As I conclude, I want to thank the government and the leadership of His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni for bringing the true democracy where we have the rule of law. And the evidence is seen in the yesterday's judgment, where the judge had all the freedom against all odds to pass the verdict that is accepted by all. We thank you so much for putting our country to another level. Thank you so much.
My name is Dixon Ogwangukul. Yesterday we had a very momentous occasion where the court gave a very fair, just, and well-balanced judgment on the long-standing dispute in Lango cultural leadership. For many years, Lango has had a problem with having two paramount chiefs instead of having one recognized one. We had had a rebellion, but that rebellion was stopped yesterday because the court properly ruled that all powers of cultural leadership in Lango vest now in the paramount chief, His Highness Yosha Moduri B, the Wonyachi of Lango. As myself, I welcome this judgment and I abide by it because I've all along been working together with His Highness Yosha Moduri B, and I'm a minister and a cabinet member in his cabinet, and I'm also been blessed by him to be his successor. So I'm happy that the authority has been vested in him, and we shall carry on with leading Lango under him and his guidance. So I want to thank the judgment that has come. I want to thank the legal team that worked to help bring a fair and well-balanced judgment. I want to thank the judge for giving all his time and heart for coming up with a judgment that makes us believe that justice is not only done, but justice is seen to have been done. To the people of Lango, I ask that we need to accept the ruling as it has come. Myself has received it and embraced it with double hands, and we have made a statement through our speaker. We have welcomed the judgment, and it's time now for us to be united because this judgment was conciliatory. We now need to come together as one Lango and work together under His Highness Yosha Moduri B. Let us forgive the hurts that has been done to any of us by any party during this period, and we work together to now bring healing and eventually move forward with developing our community as a transforming and progressing community of Lango people. there are things that doesn't matter. Because what matters to me is us coming together to teach our people on how we can use our hands and the skills that we have to bring money in our hands and bring wealth in our families so that we can have a better life. We need a community that is transforming and a community that is progressing. So we need to focus now on socio-economic transformation of our region while embracing all government programs that comes to help us move forward as a people. That is my message to our people. Thank you.
Been circulated, and I believe very many people in Lango here have read. But we as a foundation, as Lango Cultural Foundation, we have embraced the ruling, and we think the ruling sets a very good precedence for constitutionalism, the rule of law, and for the good moral order of our society. The ruling has a lot of talking points, many of them positive enough for us to take home as cultural leaders, as people who are given responsibility to manage society, as people who have a social contract with those we lead. We have accepted the ruling. It was a win-win situation because we also lost in certain counts. Actually, we lost in many counts, but the fact that the election of 1st March was nullified, which was one of our biggest prayer, we think that Justice Odoki read his script very well. We are happy for His Highness the Wonyashi Yosam Oduribi, who is set to be regazetted as the paramount leader of the Lango people. We're going to rally behind him and make sure that we steer Lango to prosperity and stability. Thank you.
What's your message to the Lango people?
My message to the Lango people is to be calm. We want people who might have felt that the ruling went against them to be calm and realize that any court ruling is going to leave some parties dissatisfied or disgruntled. But the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda is supreme. So whether the ruling was to your satisfaction or it wasn't, I am appealing to Lango people to be calm. I am appealing to all of us not to harbor hatred in our hearts. Let us consider ourselves as brothers and sisters, and let us know that despite this ruling, the future is there for all of us. Thank you.